right, welcome everyone to Politically High Tech. Yeah, I'm going to focus more on the high tech portion of it. And my listeners, a lot of you come in podcasts, not just consumers, which is great for me and for the guests here, but producers as well. And I have to accept the reality that I am an entrepreneur. It's such a weird alien hat for me personally. I'm sure for her that it's natural at this point in time, but for me, it still feels weird being an entrepreneur. I didn't think I was an entrepreneur kind of person. I just thought it was like office system supports kind of person. I don't mind being the back end, but you know what? Life takes you in weird directions. What can I say? And you just gotta embrace it. And the weird path may be the best path for you, not the one you think is the best. So I don't want to make this introduction too long. I have a guest here, and it's a woman, a very smart tech woman. Okay. And she even creates products. I know it's shocking for some of you, but we need to get out of this narrow gender stereotypical limiting mindset that some of us still have, and it needs to be debunked. We're in the 21st century already. 20th century, I understand it, even though I didn't agree with it, but come on, this is 21st century. We gotta drop this obsolete thinking, remove that old hardware, update your brain, update it. Come on, update it. Okay. So I have a guest here, and I might butcher her name. Yep, I asked her before. Don't worry, I did, but doesn't mean I'm gonna still get it right. Is Deirdre Tshien.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, I'm
So
shocked.
well.
I protected the name. It was a hostage situation. Probably would have died. It's graphic, but don't expect me to be the hero of perfect name pronunciations. I'm good with the European, Spanish, well, and some. Well, I'm getting with the Asian names on too. It's good. It's good to learn. It's good. To fight dementia, you gotta expose your brains to different things. So I'm gonna introduce my guest here. That's her. And what do you want the audience, the listeners and viewers to know about?
Oh gosh, wow, that's a big question. I guess the short of it is that I am the CEO and co-founder of Capsho, which is an AI-powered software that helps entrepreneurs who create content, especially podcasts, basically repurpose and market their shows. So that's kind of what I do right now. We could go in many different directions. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 10 years, so the last decade. And I totally get what you mean when you're like, oh, this entrepreneur thing sounds really weird to say. I didn't see myself as one for a long, long time. But there we go. 10 years later, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm an entrepreneur. This is the thing that I'm doing. I started my entrepreneurship journey in Sydney, Australia, which is where I grew up. And it was in hospitality, actually. So we opened dessert bars. So my then partner, now husband, and I opened dessert bars. We grew that brand to 5 locations. We also opened burger restaurants. So we had 2 of those locations. And then, as does the entrepreneurship journey and just life takes you, we made the decision to move over here to the States. And one of the big stories there is I guess, the catalyst or the moment. I don't know. I don't really know what to call it, but it was kind of like, what led up to that was really we found out 5 years into our hospitality businesses that our store manager of our busiest store, we found out that he had been stealing from us, and it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it was a lot of money over a period of time. And that was, I think, I guess, straw that broke the camel's back, where I think I'd been feeling for a while that being in hospitality wasn't what I wanted to be doing. And so that kind of led us into thinking about what was next for us. What did we want to be doing? At the time, I was actually exploring a fashion technology business with another co-founder. And I thought, well, what a better place to go and explore that than New York City? And so that's what we did. Mid 2019, we packed up our bags, moved over, and then COVID hit, which, is another moment in time that kind of changed a lot of things for us. And for us, it was, well, we needed to transition online. So I did skip a step. We actually failed the fashion technology idea. 4 months in, to it, into exploring the idea, we actually failed it. And we actually, and the reason why we failed it was because when we were in New York, we actually spent a lot of that time just talking to customers who users who, just to see whether or not it was a big enough problem for us to be investing more time and money into solving. And what we realized was that while it was a problem, it wasn't a big enough problem that people would be happy to change their habits quickly for. And that meant that we needed a lot of runway, which we didn't have, to make it work. Now, at the time when we failed it, we were also speaking to the other side of the marketplace, which were brands and boutiques. And what we found out from them was that their number one problem was that it was all about acquisition. And so we actually went back to them when we decided to fail the fashion technology idea, and we said, hey, well, how about if we just help you with the acquisition side? And so that's what led us into agency work. And then COVID hit. And then so we transitioned, we had to transition completely online, which meant that we started a coaching business. And that coaching business was helping e-commerce businesses, definitely those that were just starting out, to basically with their digital marketing. That's what we were doing. And that was when we launched our first podcast, which was called the Growth Boss Podcast. And, podcasting, I had no idea what I was doing at that time. So this was, 4 years ago now. And I was just like, a mentor at the time told me, look, you just got to start publishing content, because you have to start to, in your niche with your audience, start to position yourself as an expert. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do the thing. I had no idea what I was doing. And, a lot of us think that hitting the publish button is the beginning and end of our content marketing. What I realized doing that was it was actually just the beginning, because creating the content is one thing. So, hitting publish and getting it out there is one thing. But then you have to actually get your people finding it. You have to actually market your content, which for me just boggled my mind, because I was like, I just assumed that these platforms would just do its thing. But that's not actually how it works. And so I actually dove really deep into what it takes to create like a bit of a content marketing. I call it a publishing house. And, after many, many hours a week between me and my team and completely burning us all out, I was like, this is ridiculous. There has to be a better way of doing all of this. Now, when I was, taking you back 10 years before I went into entrepreneurship, I was actually working in a bank. So I was in corporate, and I was actually in the innovation team, which sounds cool. And it was actually really cool, because my role was actually to explore emerging technologies like AI, like blockchain, et cetera, and just to see what the applicability could be to banking. So I knew about AI. This was, over 10 years ago. And so when I was looking at this particular use case of like, how do I just make our lives way easier? I was like, this is a great use case for AI. So this was before ChatGPT. This was before anyone else really knew about AI. This was, this was the end of 2020. Gosh, what year are we in? 2022. This was the end of 2022. Yes. And that just kind of snowballed, and that led us to Capsho. And really what Capsho does is it takes your audio or video file, and it basically creates your title, your show notes, your social media posts, your LinkedIn articles, blog posts, emails, basically all of the written content that you need to actually go ahead and then market your anchor content, like get your podcast episode out there, get your YouTube video out there. And it's incredible. So that's kind of like the short version of my journey to where I am now.
There's one thing I picked up, and this is even the alien concept to me, but it's real just because the alien concept to you, listener or viewer, because this is going to be a video and an audio episode as well. Fail forward. I mean, normally a lot of people just think, oh, I'm failure. I'm worthless. I'm a failure for life. This is when I pick it up, and it's a good thing that more people, I'm sure, is picking this up as well. That you could fail forward. Take the best practices they did from your previous job or experiences and apply it. Of course, learn from your shortcomings from the previous experience as well. And I already see what technology is very one of your transferable skills and innovation to that
Hmm.
journey, even though it was different industries.
Hmm.
But hey, they all need technology. So that's a summary right there. So that's one thing I could extract for your concise version of a dynamic career journey that you've been through. For sure. I doubt it was a dull moment. At least I could assume that. But I am not as introvert as I thought I would be. A lot of people don't know this term. I'm an ambivert, so I'm right in between. I'm extrovert in some situations, I'm introverted in some situations. It depends what is needed. But I don't want to make this about me, listeners. Fail forward is your key takeaway for all of this. Just because you fail doesn't mean you're worthless. Just take it as a lesson, keep moving forward. Don't just move forward out the lesson, or else you can keep failing over and over and over. That's what I'm going to say. That's a lesson I'm currently learning. That's why I can say this confidently without having the imposter syndrome.
Mm. Yeah, it's such a real thing. And one of the things about failing forward, the great thing when you do that, like this whole I used to be really scared of failure. I'm not anymore, obviously, you can probably tell. And the reason why is because I just kept failing. And the more that you do fail, the more that you build up the resilience, but not just the resilience from like, oh, okay, I can do this, but it actually builds up confidence, which is like almost like the other side of the coin. And the confidence part is so important because what confidence gives you is, it's like when we have patterns, we learn that those, like, we're human, right? It's just a human thing where we kind of go, okay, well, if I've noticed a pattern somewhere, then it must be true. Like that's kind of what our brains tell us. And so every time that we just do it and we fail, so to your point, we fail forward, my definition of that is that we're actually building up the muscle memory, but the confidence to know that whatever happens, we're going to be okay. Like we can get ourselves out of that. And that's what's happened to me over my journey is like I have failed so many times, even within businesses, like so many points of failure and at every point, I didn't think that I would be able to pick myself up and get out of it. But you just keep moving. Like it's like, well, you have no choice, right? Like you can't just not do anything because that's not really an option. So you have to do something. And every time that we did something, we made a decision, we made a choice and we moved forward, we got ourselves out of whatever it was that we were in. And that just, we create the pattern, we create the muscle memory to go like, actually, no matter what life throws at us, no matter what entrepreneurship throws at us, it's going to be okay. We're going to be able to get ourselves out of it. And so I think that's definitely something that I've learned. And so if anyone is thinking about maybe you're a new entrepreneur or you're thinking about going into entrepreneurship, or maybe you've even been an entrepreneur for a while, like that in and of itself is something that I will never, ever regret this journey for, because having that confidence, having that resilience is the thing that has made life really purposeful and really fulfilling. So yeah, I hope that that's some a light at the end of the tunnel if anyone's kind of feeling any particular way right now.
No, absolutely. I mean, oof, I wish I could have learned this earlier because I was just so used to things going my way, smooth sailing. It's not good to have smooth sailing because, oh, my ego was brutal. If ego was another person, he would have bruise marks, an eye sticking out. Yeah, it's a bit graphic, but that's how bad it was beaten. My ego was just beaten to a pulp. And
Mm.
I couldn't handle that. So why am I failing? So I'm so used to getting things right the first try. What? Well, I'm going to keep this PG. Oh, man, I'm not being vulgar. You go to the other episodes where I'm vulgar on listeners, not this one. This is, so I'm trying to make it more nice for YouTube, okay? Yes, I'm selling out. Yes, criticize, sue me, whatever. So what the heck is going on? I'm so used to having things go my way the first time. Oh, it really drove me crazy.
Mm.
It drove me crazy. I was so used to getting things right the first time. I'm a fast learner, I'm an adapter, early adopter, what have you, and so many paths. And this is just, of course, from I think it stems from middle school all the way to my goodness. Yeah, I'll say to like 5 years ago, I used to have that problem that I really hated failing. I saw failure as a death sentence. It's not a death sentence. It's just something that is needed to be successful. I know that sounds ironic to some of you, but remember, fail forward. That's the most sensible way that, and it's not me that coined that term, by the way. I'm not coming up with new things. Fail forward is an proven concept, especially for successful entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs that have gone through this. This is why they get better at their business. Plan A didn't work. Okay, plan B did a little better, but you can still improve it. Then you have C. Right, you keep going until you get some that really, until you quote unquote got it. When you see revenue coming in, making positive impact, getting your community audience, what have you. Me, I haven't got all that figured out, and my audience is still evolving. I'll say mostly for the better. I think more younger and when they're paying attention to this podcast, which I actually wanted to get a more chunk of that as well. That's all I'm gonna say. Just fail forward because it's the best. It's the best path to success. Overnight success, it's nearly impossible. And even if you achieve that, you're gonna go down real quick if you don't know how to handle success. That's
Hmm.
what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Just take failure as a lesson. Take failure. And the reason why I'm repeating this because I know this is so hardwired and programmed to so many people. Normally, I don't repeat this much, but I think it's I think it's warranted indeed. Now, anything else you want to add before I get to the next one? Because you already answered what was Capsho, which I know that's an ABC question to you. A million people ask you that. Anything else you want to add before I get to the next question?
No, I mean, I'm happy to talk a little bit more about. I know that I kind of skimmed over what Capture does in terms of like the what it is. I told a little bit about the story about how it came about. And it's just been awesome because since we've launched, like we've had so many people, obviously, so many people use it and so many results. Like, just recently I was actually I've done a couple of podcast interviews actually with people with Capsho. We call them Capshovians, people who use Capsho. And it's been so cool to see people like Laquita Monley, who went from 2,000 downloads a month to now over 12,000 downloads a month in the space of only 4 months. She was able to do that using Capsho and especially, really leaning into her blog strategy. And Sandy, she like 6x'd her downloads, like also in the space of like 4 weeks, now in the top 0.5% of business podcasts. Like she's just crushing it because of how she uses Capsho. So yeah, I'm just really thankful that this is what we get to do now. And again, this is what the entrepreneurship journey has led us to. It's led us to the thing that I like. I just love doing and serving entrepreneurs who podcast day in and day out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Me, I'm definitely gonna give this a shot because I can already foresee that this is gonna be a need, especially for my next season. Because I'm just growing in guests and I need to find a way to automate it. And once I hit that certain financial threshold, I'm gonna start getting some help on certain things like editing. Yeah, future job post people, editor, web developer, those are help I'm gonna need. I'm not the best. I know the stereotype is, oh, the millennials are very good with computers and all of that. Yeah, I'm good with computers, but I'm not good at every single aspect. I mean, let's just be quite frank. When I make a website, it look like a child did it, for Christ's sakes. The buttons are out of place, and the word is all over the place. It's not just structured and nice, and has all those HD images that really gravitate your attention. Beauty matters. Beauty matters. Presentation matters. People don't want to go to no ugly site. They're gonna think it's a scam. Oh my goodness, went to the wrong site. It's ugly. It matters. It matters. I know that sounds wrong, but we humans by nature, we judge things by appearance. It doesn't always serve us well, but that's the reality of this. Is coming from a Christian. Okay. I see that. And, that does show if you have a beautiful site, that means you have either hired someone or you're a great web developer, you get, some organic traffic. That's the only reason why and I definitely need to improve my organic traffic. I'm not the egotistical, oh, yeah, I'm getting a million downloads while my downloads only saying 100. No, it's just missing a lot of zeros. It's missing a lot of zeros. The website is rigged. That's a lie. That's a lie. Well, most of the time statistics don't lie, so let's just be absolutely clear about that. Unless you want to drink the Kool-Aid, think you're the king or queen of the world, you go right ahead. The world just move on without you. Okay, just live in your own bubble. So have there been any other competitors, because you're the very first, which is
Mm.
great, so that's
Oh
history
yeah.
never take away from you.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
massive. Yeah. Like, so we went live July of 2022. God, 2022. Last year was 2023. Yeah, I keep getting the so we went live July 2022. And as I said, that was before ChatGPT. That was before anyone knew about anything about AI. And so being the first, it was great because, we literally were the first. And then since then, I mean, ChatGPT is probably the biggest competitor, I would say, even though they don't quite do exactly what it is that we do. But since then, there's been, dozens, I would say, who have come out claiming to do the same thing that we do, but we're not the cheapest in the market. I'm just going to be upfront about that, but we we have high quality, and that's why time and time again people do actually. We have people who have tried us, they've left because they're like, well, I can get it cheaper elsewhere, but they come back because they can see that they've just nothing else can compare to what it is that Capsho does. So yeah, we're going to get competitors, and we always knew that we were going to, because every time that something comes up, you know comes out, you're always going to get people who will follow. And yeah, it's kind of been a crazy journey since then, because even looking at competitors, it's like, well, what I've realized is that none of us truly actually have we have competitors in the what that we do, but none of us truly have competitors in the how we do it. And also because no one can really compete with who you are. Because I know there's like, even with this podcast, there would be so many other podcasts that talk about similar things, but the way that you do it, the guests that you have on, the how your audience vibes with you, like there's only going to be one of you. And so that's also what I've been realizing through this journey as well, is that, others can do the what, of course, but the how you do it and how you show up for your people, they just can't compete with that. And so, yeah, that's what we really leaned into.
I love how you said the what could be duplicated, the how cannot, or even the style. I actually love that. That's profound. And me, I differentiate on myself too, because I don't please. Well, for me, as a proud political podcast, I don't side with Republicans and Democrats. I mean, sometimes I'll have one episode that gets deeper to Democrat issue or Republican issue, or even a third party issue, because I believe we need more parties in the system. That's where I stand. And I don't mind bashing both the establishment parties. That's where I'm messing up. There's no partisan loyalty here. So if I criticize you, if you don't like it, you could just go to another podcast that just put your confirmation bias on steroids and support your echo chamber. That's not what this is here. And of course, I talk about philosophy and spirituality as well, and technology. Those are the other areas I talk about instead of just politics. I don't want to talk about politics all the time. It's doom and gloom. Let's just be clear and short.
Mhm.
So much doom and gloom, and I don't want to taint this episode with so much doom and gloom. So yeah, you're not gonna hear a lot of politics, except for in the context of this podcast on how I do things. But don't worry, you're not gonna hear no, oh, Donald Trump did what, Biden did what. No, 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 not this. So you go to the other ones. Go to other ones. I have done a lot of that. Okay. I'm not going to regurgitate. I'm not going to regurgitate those things. That's not my style. Not my style at all. Yeah, I won't be surprised. ChatGPT, just because ChatGPT is the biggest, most open, it doesn't
Mm.
mean it's the best, and I have tried it myself. It's good at some things, yeah, but still learning, it's polishing. But I doubt, I think with your product, is it really specializes on copyright promotion, which that gives it the edge naturally right there, while ChatGPT is trying to be the be all end all of all AI.
For
And
sure.
being broad, yeah, it's good to some extent, but you're jack of all trades, master of none.
Hmm.
Capsho just, you specialize in this area. This is your lane. You're gonna do much better than ChatGPT. And copyright, well, they're in trouble with that, by the way. There you go. We got some proof right. We got some proof right there. They're in legal trouble with all of that. And I did say copyright was going to be an issue. Critical thinking was going to be an issue because people just get lazy. You still need to be smart. You still need to be clear with your prompts because if you're vague, it's like talk to a person. It's like communicating with a person, with an online message or email or chat message, right? You got to be clear because you don't have the emotions to support it, or sometimes you got to have a lengthy text just to explain the extra context why you're asking, so the person won't feel like, oh, why is this person asking me that question? It's none of that person's business. Oh my goodness. No, I'm asking because I'm curious about A, B, and Z. So you got to treat ChatGPT with that. I did call contradictory facts with ChatGPT. I was being real critical with ChatGPT. We came to explain the political process. I said, now 2 and 5 doesn't make sense. You need to clarify that or correct that. So, it's the biggest, yes, most open, but it doesn't mean it's the best. And I'm sure there are AI tools that's going to do better politically. There's so much new stuff coming up with AI. I think every single day it's like 10, 20, maybe 100 new things popping up with AI. AI for photos, AI for art, I don't know, AI for video or, text to video, all that kind of stuff. But yours is multifunctional and I need something that's multifunctional, and I just know the demand is going to get bigger. So I'm trying to think ahead. I don't want to play catch up. And that's why I'm just looking to all these products. Yeah, it's not the cheapest, but for me, it's outcome and value is where I'm at. Because I could do Chat GPT, but who knows? I'm gonna have a bunch of 16-year-old kids who love Chat GPT comes about. They say, no, I don't want that audience. No, no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
I want adults, even though I compromise with 18. I will prefer like 21 until you're dead. That's my age range. Pretty broad, but I just think, and I'm happy that some young people be involved in politics. Good for them, and some of them are sounding sharper than the ones we got in Congress. But I'm not going to get deep into that. That could be a rant I could say for another episode. So good job on the young on that. Just keep it up, and hopefully America will grow and get up out of this tribalistic chaos that we are in. So I'm not sure Capsho could solve that unless you could just do some wordsmithing. Who knows? I'm gonna try this thing, and there's a 2-week trial, by the way. 2-week trial. I'm ready to plug in about 2-week trial. Just risk free. Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. I'm definitely going to do that, and I'm definitely going to test one episode. Especially, I'm going to test on a good one I think deserves that push. The one I think is okay, I'm not going to try that one. I want to have the best door and the best start. But I want to have that one best shot. Hopefully, hits a bullseye. So, feel free to chime in. I don't want to take over this conversation.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, definitely, yeah, when you give it a go, and we'll work with you as well. But we're doing what's also really cool with Capsho is that with the the onboarding that we'll take you through is we'll actually also create custom tone of voice for you. So every time that you use Capsho, it will actually be based on your tone of voice and how you write either your social media posts or your emails or long form content. So that'll come through too, which is really, really cool.
That personalization, can ChatGPT do that? Yeah, but it has to be, like a famous person or a historical figure. All right.
Yeah.
And unless you want to be fraudulent or deceptive for the content, yeah. But ChatGPT is good for some things. It's good as a general tool, but it's not a specialized tool. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
Specialized tool. And I'm not just saying because the guest is here. That's my honest opinion. I use ChatGPT myself a couple of times. Like it, but it's not the best for everything. Not the best for everything. You still got to use your organic computer right here to brain.
Yeah.
For those of you who are just listening, I'm just touching my head like a madman a little bit in your brain. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. So the only question I have is for this tool specifically is, can it help generate relevant images that makes your blog post attract more attention?
Yeah. So it doesn't do image generation yet. We're still, I have to say that space is such a fast moving, ever changing space. So we're kind of in a way being a little bit of in the tech speak, like a fast follower on that, but we want to keep So, yeah. So, long story short, not yet. What we are doing on the blog post side is that we actually generate text for what we call an infographic. So, infographic is kind of, if it's a how-to blog post that Capsho generates, and it might be like here, it'll summarize, there's 5 steps or whatever into here's text that you can use for infographic, and then we just go over to something like Canva, use a template, knock up the infographic, and then we use that for our blog post. And the great thing about infographics for blog posts is that those are one of the highest ranking from an SEO perspective, highest ranking images that get found on Google, but also then you can use that on places like Pinterest to then actually also get your blog post further discovered. So so that's kind of what we help with on the image side. I did also forget to mention that we also have like a whole list of quotes that Capsho kind of picks out from your episode. We also use those quotes for quote cards, things like that you can use on social media, but also in your blog post. And it does also identify sound bites. So it doesn't do any video clipping yet, again, not yet, but it does actually identify so that if, you happen to use like say a Descript or any other video editing tool, you can just very quickly go to the, the timestamp and go, okay, this is the clip that I can just very quickly clip. So yeah, that's kind of what we like, what it is that Capsho does, how it helps on the creative side of it.
Oh no, that is great. I had to ask that because I'm just trying to see what extra things I need to put more effort on and just alleviate some effort on. Definitely the writing part is a big thing for me. I think with images, I could still manually work with that if I need to, but I'll see once I try the tool. I can't give a definitive answer because I don't know until I really try.
Mm.
So, oh, don't be a cop out. I don't know. I'm going to say I'm going to do A. I end up doing B because totally different outcome. Yeah. Sometimes I debate with some of my listeners here. This is definitely a tool I'm interested in. So don't be surprised, especially for the next season, which is a few months away. You're gonna see a lot more of automated social media posts because I just can't keep doing that manually, and I'm ready to use multiple social medias. And this is a rare time I give a shout out to Podmatch. I need to give them more shout outs. Thank God for Podmatch because they gave me so much light bulbs on a couple of things. Say, okay, I could do this. I could alleviate this. It
Mm.
helped me how to do this podcast better because if it wasn't for them, by episode 105, I would have definitely just said, I'm done.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, Alex is a really good friend of mine. So I love Alex and Alicia and what they do at Podmatch. But yeah, I'd love to know more about how it is specifically they helped you in terms of what were one of those one or two things that you learned through your process that kept you going.
Oh man, oof. Just to put a very short, succinct, and this is a thing I don't say a lot, but I don't mind even the guests asking me questions because at the end I want a hopefully fun, insightful conversation. But just to answer it, tech, yeah, definitely tech on different softwares I could use. Like this Zoom thing, this was a desperate replacement from StreamYard. I had StreamYard before until they messed me up really bad. I had a big argument with them. I already ranted about that a few episodes ago. Go check that out. I'm not going to regurgitate it. It was a bad customer experience. They ruined my file. It damaged the relation with one of my guests, and I don't blame this guest for ever coming back to this podcast. I really don't, because I would have done the same. Because it was a really great episode. It would have been one of the best spiritual episodes, but somehow StreamYard really messed up. I couldn't even get the file, and it was big back and forth. So I would say in terms of what really helped me is how to work smarter, how to amplify my system, my workflows, because I was doing paper and all that. So, oh no, they have workflows. So I could start doing all this. Even when things change, where the guest cancels, all that, I could update it in real time. So it got me to be more efficient, smarter, and look at plan B and C just to troubleshoot the issues that I'm going through. Because I'm trying to prevent being burned down and overwhelmed. So that's the biggest thing that helped me out with. And look at my flaws. Like outlet, what will be a good example? Engagement community was like one of my weakest strong points. Which I just put an episode out and that's it. It's okay. I'm done. I'm going to the next episode. So it was kind of cold interaction, which I didn't realize I was doing. So that was a big thing. That was a big thing that I had to really improve on, get more involved with community and all that. So yeah, I'm just telling you how I grow. I'm trying to be as authentic as I could be without being too quote unquote vulnerable.
Mm.
But I am open. I am open about that. So I say that helped me out quite a lot. Because before it's just get things done, move to the next scene. Cold, it was pretty cold interaction, which I can be cold, but you have to earn it. But I didn't
Mm.
want to do that to the new people, and I didn't realize I was transferring that energy and how I worked in it. So that was a big eye opener. And I think for being a native New Yorker, sometimes that's a hard habit just to kick. So that's all I'm gonna say. I think that was the biggest thing for me for sure. And yep, this is a rare shout out. I don't give them enough shout out, but yeah, Pie Match is good. And that's why I always put the link to join it. I don't express it that well, but this time being open about it, being transparent. It's great for you to join. It's great for you to join Pop Match. They have gave me, I would say, most of them were great guests. A few of them were very problematic, but for the most part, they give you great guests. Okay, they give you awesome. So I don't want to keep rumbling on, but that's what helped me out a lot. And I'm now more engaged with community posts and all of that. So that part I'm working on and social media posts. So thank you, Pop Match. All right. I don't want to make it about me. So I already actually got through all the questions. Just do the shameless plug-in. Yes, I'm a proud capitalist. I am, I look, just try Capsho, okay? And it's spelled, I know it may sound weird to some of you. Capsho spelled Capsho, okay?
Yeah, and there's actually an extended free trial offer. So if you go to free gift, one word, FREE gift, GIFT dot capsho, CAPSHO.com, then you can sign up for an extended free trial where you'll get extra credits. And yeah, we'll take you through the, custom onboarding process, as well as some educational training around social media posts and SEO. Really short audio form training that can sort of get you started in getting you and your podcast discovered. So yeah, go ahead and sign up through their freegift.capsho.com. And for anyone as well who is you're creating content and you're really looking to monetize. So again, you're an entrepreneur. We spoke about entrepreneurship, and you're like, I have this message, but I just am not sure how I can actually grow my audience and monetize. Then we're actually next week. So I don't know when this episode's going to go live, but as of now, 19th of Feb, I'm actually partnering with two amazing men and we're doing a 5-day virtual live event that will take people through creating really powerful content, growing their audience and monetizing that audience. Joseph, who's the absolute expert on monetization. He helps people to the tune of, 7 figures a month. Like, he's crazy around monetization. So I definitely love to see people at that event. We might even do it quarterly. So even if you miss out on the one on the 19th, then keep a lookout. Industry Icon Live. So Industry Icon, ICON live.com. It's free. So we'd love to see you there as well.
Well, I will be there, and this is going to be released a day before that because I have the AI processes just to edit. And
Awesome.
this is why I figured myself efficient editing is key, because before it used to take me 6 hours. At worst, now it's at 3 hours. So it's 50% cut of my editing, which made it very sustainable for this growth.
Awesome. And then if you use Capsho as well, then, coming up with your title and description and getting it published is literally going to take you no time.
Yep, time is the most valuable commodity, even more than money. Yes, I know it sounds crazy. Money is valuable, it got its place, but time is most valuable. There's no refunds. You
Yeah.
got to the best of your ability. Money, there is refunds. So that's why, this is why I'm gonna say this. I rarely say this, but one of my pet peeves is actually having my time wasted. I mean, if you want to get me angry, not even cursing me or calling me names, it's getting my time wasted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call my name, but very few guests have waste my time. I even cancel them and even pass them because they throw some last minute shenanigans. I don't play that. I can understand there's a family emergency, all that. That's only the exception because you can't control those. Or weather, fine. Or outage, that's perfectly fine. But if it's something nonsensical, like, oh, I have a time conflict, no, that's that's a you problem, not my problem. It sounds harsh, but that's more. Well, it may like I'm pointing at the guests, but no, it's definitely not her. You can you can draw a little imaginary line over her. It's bouncing. Is So no way I'm not accusing Deirdre. I'm trying to go to her more native on pronunciation, just to challenge myself. So I'm not accusing her. Trust me, if she would waste my time, this interview would just never happen. Period. So this interview is proof that it worked out. So just check. Oh, and let me just plug in the social medias as well. Because I'm sure she's in social media. She has to be, right?
Yeah.
She's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I will put that in the description as well. But I mean, the first thing I always put is the website and the product. I think that's more important than the social media. That's just my personal opinion. If you want to communicate with her through those, that's entirely up to you. And I'm sure that she is willing to help.
Mhm.
That's what I'm going to say about that. So, anything else you want to add before I wrap this up?
No, this is great. Thank you.
Oh, no, not a problem. So if you are watching this through YouTube and Rumble, like, comment, subscribes for YouTubers, follows for Rumble. Okay. Share this with a family or friend or complete stranger who has a similar problem. Yeah, strange. You'd be surprised. Some strangers could become fast friends. And if you're listening to this through Apple Podcasts, give a star rating. I want an honest star rating. If I'm not getting a 5-star, it would be nice to give a little paragraph why. If it's a 5-star, then that's optional. And then for Spotify, you only could leave a star. Hopefully it's a 5-star. If not, I completely understand. So with that out of the way, you have a blessed day, afternoon, or night.